All right, today we're diving into one of the most intense conversations you'll ever read. And it's not between two people, it's between a prophet and God himself. We're talking about a raw, no-holds-barred argument over justice, suffering, and what it really truly means to have faith. I mean, have you ever just looked around at all the chaos and injustice and felt frustrated, confused? Like you're screaming for answers, but all you get back is silence? If you've ever felt that, well, you're in good company. You've walked right in the footsteps of an ancient prophet named Habakkuk. And his struggle, that's where our story begins. So let's set the scene. Who was this guy, Habakkuk? He was living in Judah, and things were not good. His whole society was basically collapsing from the inside out, totally corrupted by greed and injustice. And just to make things worse, the terrifying shadow of the Babylonian Empire, we're talking a brutal, conquering force, was looming right on the horizon, ready to just swallow them whole. He was literally surrounded by moral rot. You know the story. The wicked were getting rich and powerful, while good people were getting crushed. And looking at this completely broken world, Habakkuk just couldn't stay quiet anymore. He'd had enough, so he decided to take his complaint straight to the top. Now, this wasn't some polite, quiet prayer. This was a scream of pure anguish. He is demanding to know why God is just standing by, letting all this injustice run wild. It's a question that, let's be honest, could have been ripped from today's headlines. And then, God answered. But the answer Habakkuk got, it was definitely not the comforting reassurance he was hoping for. In fact, it might be one of the most shocking, confusing plans God announces in the entire Old Testament. A plan that seemed designed to make everything so much worse. Just think about that for a second. God's solution to the injustice problem in Judah was to send in an even more ruthless, even more wicked nation to be his instrument of punishment. This didn't solve Habakkuk's problem at all. It just blew it up into this huge moral paradox. But here's the amazing part. Habakkuk doesn't just shut up and accept it. No way. In this incredible act of faithful gutsiness, he goes back to God with a second, even tougher challenge. He's not just questioning God's inaction anymore. Now he's questioning God's very character, his sense of justice. And this is the absolute heart of the conflict. On one side, Habakkuk is asking, how can you, a holy God, use a deeply evil nation to do your work? It makes no sense. And God's response is basically, don't worry, the Babylonians aren't getting a free pass. Their day of judgment is coming too. The key takeaway here, justice is coming for everyone, but it's on God's timeline, not ours. So this incredibly tense back and forth leads to the major turning point of the whole book. The conversation pivots. It stops being about why is everything so broken, and it turns to a much deeper question. How? How in the world are we supposed to live when God's plans are so confusing and honestly so painful? And boom, here it is. The answer at the very heart of the book. The righteous will live by their faithfulness. This one sentence is massively important. It's not a promise that things will be easy or that you'll get all the answers. Instead, it's a calling to live by faithfulness, which is just a deep, abiding trust in God's goodness, even when his actions make absolutely zero sense to us. So you can actually map out Habakkuk's incredible journey in these 3 steps. He starts by questioning all the injustice he sees. Then he honestly wrestles with God's bizarre plan. And finally, he lands on a conscious choice to trust. It's this amazing progression from complaint to confession, from raw doubt to real devotion. And that brings us to the final chapter. And it's not another argument, it's a song. A beautiful, powerful psalm that shows us exactly what living by faithfulness actually looks like in practice. In this final prayer, Habakkuk basically says, even if the economy collapses, the crops fail, the livestock die, even if everything I depend on is stripped away from me, I will still rejoice in the Lord. He's moved past needing answers. He's arrived at a place of just profound, unshakable trust. So yeah, the book of Habakkuk leaves us wrestling with some of the biggest questions there are, right? The mystery of divine justice, the reality of suffering, what faith really is, and how to trust in God's sovereignty when the world feels like it's spinning out of control. It's crazy to think this all went down over 2,500 years ago, because Habakkuk's questions, they feel like they could have been written this morning. In our own world, which is still so full of chaos and uncertainty, his journey really challenges us. It makes us ask ourselves, what does it truly mean for you and for me to live by faithfulness?